Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Vintage Craft and Chat. Happy Thursday. I hope you all are having a very lovely day, and I'm glad you're here. Today, we are taking the beautiful mast boards that we made together last week, and we are going to use them to make journals today. So I was going through some of my stash because I've been trying to organize, and I reacquainted myself with a huge stash, let me find them, of vintage postcards that I have. So I was going through, and they really inspired me for today's project. So we are going to take the master boards that we made last week. I put a link to last week's Vintage Craft and Chat down below. Here's one that's very neutral tones. Where's the one we made? I cut the one we made last week up to use in today's journal that I will be crafting along with you. So there's one, kind of half of it's neutral, and then we did some pastels on the other side, and then here's another piece. I've been cutting into them all week. So the link to that video is down below, and I was going through my kind of too big collection of postcards, and I thought how beautiful it would be to use a postcard for the front cover of the journal and then the masterboard for the back. So that's what we are doing today. Let me make sure I'm not missing everybody. Oh, Angela, your first flight ever? What are you talking about? Hi, Angela. Your first airplane trip? Oh, that's exciting. Where are you going? Is it a secret? Can you say? Oh my gosh, that's so fun. So fun. Are you going by yourself? Are you going with somebody else? Lots of questions. I'm glad you're here. Let's see here. Yes, so here is the demo that I was working on the last couple days, and then when I flip the camera around, we'll do a little flip through, but you can see the back is a masterboard. Let's see, is this one? No, this is not the one we made last week, but I did cut a piece of the one that we made together. That will be the back for the one that we're working on today, so you can see the masterboard. I added a few different, some additional collage elements on the back, but basically that's it. They look fancy, but they're super easy. This one I added some little charms to the bottom. I don't think we'll have time to do that, but some little vintage buttons and some beads, and super, super easy. They look complicated, but they are not. Let's see. Oh, Phoenix. Coming to Phoenix at the end of next week for my birthday. Happy early birthday. My aunt lives there, got me the ticket for my birthday. Don't be anxious. You're going to be good. I get a little nervous at takeoff, but once the plane is in the air, just sit back, relax, bring some snacks. They don't have really good snacks anymore on the airplane. And just bring something to keep your mind busy. That's my suggestion. And yummy snacks. And let's see, are you in Ohio? You're not in Ohio. What do I want to say Ohio? But I don't think it's Ohio. Illinois, I think. So that won't be too long of a trip. How long is the flight? If it's long enough, they'll have movies too. So that's what I do. I just kind of bury my mind in a movie. Chicago. Okay. I was right. So I bet they'll have a movie on the airplane. So that'll be good. Or you could take what we do sometimes too, if they don't have movies, is load a movie like on our phone or on your iPad. That's always a good suggestion too. And then you'll be sure to have something that will be very distracting. So they may have movies. Yeah, 4 hours we have movies. That's exciting. That is so exciting. Let's see, what else did I want to, of course I made a note and then I quickly buried it. You know what, I'm gonna pull the prompt You plan on reading? Good, good. That will be thoroughly distracting. But like I said, once you get in the air, it's just relaxing and you'll be fine, and hopefully make friends with your the person sitting next to you. Good, 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 good. Let's see. Oh, that's an hi, Anitra. How are you, friend? Oh, I'm so glad you stopped in to say hello. Hope you're doing good. I haven't seen you, so happy 2025. So I'm going to pull a prompt. Sometimes I do it at the end, but I thought I would do it at the beginning today. Last week, our prompt was framed. So many of us in our crafting group did projects that included the prompt framed. I'll show mine here in a minute. Let's see, some of these are kind of stuck together. Okay, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's a good one. See-through. The prompt is see-through. Okay, I think I know. I have a couple ideas already on what I may do for that. That's a fun one. Two things came to mind. Oh, good. I'm glad you're good. Yes, happy 2025. Right? Interesting. What two ideas? I have two ideas that came to mind. So I'll post a picture of that in our crafting group on Instagram. And then here was my little ATC card that I made, taking into account the prompt framed. So it was my first ATC ever. It was a lot of fun. I spent way too much time on it, but it was kind of like the mood I was in over the weekend. So here's the back. So I just used a paper punch to cut out a circle in one card, and then I, where is it? I finally used, I've been hoarding it. I've been so hoarding it. My daughter gifted me two of these beautiful sticker books, probably 2 birthdays ago, maybe, or 2 Mother's Day, or 2 Christmases ago. I don't know. It was a long time ago, and I finally used them. So silly. I do not know why I was hoarding, but those are fun. And we're doing a Valentine ATC swap in our group. That was Angela's amazing suggestion. So that's been fun. So there was my little entry for framed. Let me make sure I'm not. Is it a heat wave in Chicago? Oh, it's in the 30s. The 30s is like a heat wave. I was like, oh my goodness, what? Okay, so I think that's it. Oh, and that should have been the first thing I said. I wanted to say a huge thank you and welcome to all the new subscribers. I've lost count. Every time I go and look at the studio updates, there are more and more. So I want to say welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. I don't know if you're all watching today, but I just appreciate, and yeah, I could get a little teary-eyed, but I'm just so appreciative. I'm so happy that you're here for the journey, and yeah, that you have subscribed. And we meet every Thursday, if you're watching this, every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Vintage Crafted Chat. We go live, we hang out, we chat, we do a guided project, usually junk journaling, paper crafting, that type of thing. I think next week, I'm still trying to figure out next week may be a fun decor craft. So we do all kinds of fun things. I can't even. We have another Angela in the house. Hello, Angela, the traveling crafter. Hello. Happy 2025. I haven't seen you either. in the new year? I hope you are doing good. Okay, so I am going to flip the camera around here. Oops. It's like I've never done this before. I don't know what it is about today. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let me take this around. You can see all the things on the desk. Let me bump my laptop back a little bit. Whoops. I think I'm just going to push the whole thing back. Let's get that drawer out of the way. There we go. So we don't have a lot of shading going on. Hopefully that's a good view. A little far away, but we don't want the camera to do that zoomy thing it does. Yeah, so glad you're here, Angela. I am very glad you're here. Okay, let me get that. I don't want to lose see-through. Let me put that in a safe spot. Let me clear the decks a little bit. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see. Let's do a little quick flip through of the demo journal. So as you can see, the front, the front is a postcard. I'll show you the back side of it. So there's the back side. In fact, let's see what it's dated. It's a beautiful card. February 15th of, I'm not seeing a year, but it does have a 1-cent postage stamp. So that gives us a little bit of info. Yeah, I don't see a year on it, but it is lovely. It wasn't in the most perfect shape, which is even a better reason to dig out our postcards. And here's one that is kind of a companion of that one. I almost used that one today, but I need to do some stuff to make it a little bit more fortified. It has some bends to it, but this will probably get made into, 1909. This one's November 26th of 1909. Wow, 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 wow. Amazing. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. So there's the other one. And here's a few other postcards that I pulled out. That would make an awfully sweet journal. This one for sure will be made into a journal. Isn't that the cutest? I love that. I think it'll probably have, great maybe children's images. Maybe I'll even dig into some of my readers. In fact, that one doesn't even have any writing on the back. So these are just some examples that would make really beautiful journals. And it's a great way to use the ones that aren't in great condition. Like this one right here, the corner is missing. So I'll come in and just do, let's see, does it have writing? I hate to cover the writing up on the back, but I'll figure out a way to sort of fortify that a little bit. So I wanted to share those. So here, basically, here's the journal. I made it with one signature, so a single signature, and we'll be doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch today. Super simple. Again, it looks complicated, but it's so easy. And here are just some of the papers I put inside. So I did like some tracing paper, and I sort of took a nod to the beautiful masterboards that we made with the vintage papers and the age of the postcard. So I tried to pick out book pages that had a lot of age to them. Antique or near antique. I included a lot of ledger and sort of writing opportunities. And this one will need to be decorated, but it may end up in my Etsy shop at some point. I even dug into my Edith Holden book, which I've been hoarding. I'm really trying to turn a new page this year and dig into my books. No more hoarding. Isn't that beautiful? And then I found a couple pages that were from the month of February. So really fun. Here's that blue. Now that's not old, that Timu paper that I adore. Here's some from my field guide books, ledger paper. Here's another beautiful botanical that's actually local to me here in Palos Verdes. The author wrote it on our local flora and fauna. Here's antique book pages. And then this one, I don't think I'm going to include this one. It's super brittle. I did have it out to put in today's journal, but it's just a page from one of those vintage map books. I mean, not map books, stamp books, where you can glue the stamps into the pages, which has really, really cool graphics, but it's a little bit on the brittle side, so I don't think, and then the other side is just all the other sides. And then here's the back cover. So I took a piece of that masterboard we made, and then I just put a piece of vintage sheet music on the back. And then I did another little additional collage there just to, I don't know, give it more interest. And then I collaged the back of that. And the other thing I did, I don't always do that, but because of the collage, because of the really old paper here, also because of the age of the postcard, and I wanted to really preserve the writing on the inside with the thought that, you know, it would be used and loved and written in, maybe, you know, put in a purse or a bag or a backpack. So I did come in and put a layer of matte Mod Podge. So matte Mod Podge, just one layer on both sides. So I did the postcard front and back. And as you can see, it gives it a little, I don't know that you can see, it gives it a little bit of a sheen, but I just think it gives it a nice protection. And I did the same on the back here. So there you can really see the sheen of that. And again, that's just a personal preference, but I thought it would maybe stand the test of time a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to stick that aside. Let me make sure, I can catch up. Annette is here. Annette, do you have your beautiful masterboard at the ready? Annette made the most gorgeous masterboard. She posted a picture in our crafting group. It was gorgeous. So fun. Yes, take lots of pictures. And Arizona is gorgeous. Spent a lot of time there. We've had friends and family members that have lived there over the years. It is gorgeous. You're going to love it. You're going to love that dry air, and it's going to be amazing. Okay, so this is the postcard that I chose for today. So here is the front of it. Now, it was super, super plain. So it just had the rose, only the rose on the front. So last night I just added a few other elements to it. I just thought it was super plain. So I just took one of the Tim Holtz, the little mini, actually two of them, those little mini labels from the, what is it? It's here. I think we were playing with that last week, right? I pulled it out. So it's just I should have put that in the supply list, but I did not. I can add it. It's just the little mini snippet, ones. So I grabbed a couple of those. And then I also grabbed out an actual stamp that was in my stash, which I thought was really quite sweet. So I added those, and then I gave it a layer of the Mod Podge front and back. You can see a little bit of the sheen. What's the date of this one? 1910. Is it June? Maybe June 20th, 1910. From Seville, Ohio, 1 cent. Gorgeous. Okay, so there is the front, and then I cut a piece of the masterboard that we made together last week, and you can see that we used some of that green paper from a botanical magazine, and then I just added a couple more pieces. I added this piece in here. We're going to use a piece of this book page on the inside, so I added a little strip of that. I added a strip of like reproduction paper that I had. Here's another piece of that botanical paper. And then I just added a little sticker here and gave it a coat of Mod Podge. So there we go. And I cut it to the size of the postcard, right? Super easy. You can use a paper cutter. I sometimes find that Scissors are even easier. Whatever you find is quick and easy. So that is our front cover, and this will become our back cover. So let's work on putting the cover together, and then we will switch over to the signature. And again, I was going through my stash and I pulled out, this is ribbon. I think it was actually from like when you buy sheets, you know, and they tie them up sometimes. Sometimes they're in a bag. And sometimes when you buy sheets and things, they come with that, you know, bow over the top. So that's what this was. Totally upcycled and recycled, but I saved it. It's a very kind of sturdy cotton material. So for the spine, you can use fabric. You could use ribbon. Basically, use what you have. And the size of this, it is 1.5 inches is the width of this. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little visual look here. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to cut it to the length. I'm going to go a little bit longer. Just do a tad bit longer because we can come back and cut that. I'm going to take my pinking shears. I do like to use pinking shears as much as possible for the fabric and ribbons and things. That was really crooked. Oh, super crooked. Let me double check, make sure it's still okay. Yep, that's okay. All right, so we will need 2 pieces. I'm going to cut 1 and 2, 1 for the outside, 1 for the inside. Oh, doesn't want to cut there. Oh, you're going to watch first? Good. Yeah, sometimes that's good. Watch, take it all in, and then it's good too because then you can figure out what supplies that you have. Hi, Piper Lily Journals. Welcome. Do you keep those too? Yes, right? They're so good. They're always such really good quality, the ribbons and things. And I often will keep I don't know, I keep every part of things. Sometimes I have to watch myself put tags and all that good stuff because sometimes they're just really, really, really lovely. Let's see, what does Angela say? After I get my laundry going, I plan on harvesting my random supplies I've saved to just prep them to be used in future projects. Awesome. Random wrapping paper and stuff from packages, you know. I know. It is a constant, right? I think if you're a junk journal, paper craft, or scrapbooker, probably all of the above, probably any craft that's out there, a big part of what we do is constantly organizing, which I actually like. I enjoy organizing. I think sometimes that is part of the fun. Okay, we are going to take I have to be very careful from here on out because chances are that I will, okay, we're going to go this way. Then I'm going to do it backwards. Chances are I will do something backwards. Okay, so I'm going to put my cover on my right and my back panel on my left, my back cover, because we will be putting the spine on this side. Okay, so I just want to make sure, I am okay. All right. So sometimes with my spine, sometimes I will just use purely glue. I've used Tyvek before. This ribbon is particularly sturdy, and with the size of the journal, I thought that it would really, you know, stand up to things. So I'm not using the Tyvek. I did pull it out, and I had thought about it, but I decided not to. So sometimes I will just use glue. My favorite glue is, sorry, I have it in a different container, but my favorite glue is Fabri-Tac. Let me see if I can grab. It's Fabri-Tac. So there's the actual bottle, and I've just stuck it into one of these Baby Bell bottles. So that's sort of my favorite go-to when working on the spines. And so I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. So sometimes I will just glue the whole thing. Today I decided, because I have it, I should use it. I'm going to use some of this double-sided tape because I have a lot of it. So we're going to do a combination of the tape and glue, but if you just have the glue, that is super okay too. So I'm going to put tape on both sides. When I did the sample for today, I just did tape on one side, but I figured let's do the two-sided. And this tape is, I want to say it's 1/2 inch. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's 3/8. This is a 3/8 inch size tape. And I purchased the tape on Amazon. It came in a huge variety pack, which is nice to have. So there's a lot of different sizes. And it's super sticky. Once you stick it down, you're stuck. Make sure I'm doing the right, I'm doing the right side. I get so carried away with keeping up with the chat and everything in my head. I want to make sure I don't mess up here. Hi, Amy. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here. That's my fear too, Angela, is that I look like a hoarder. I do not want to look like a hoarder, not only in my home decor, because I keep checking myself. Not only do I enjoy decorating our home with vintage and thrifted, I would say the majority of our home is thrifted or estate sale finds, but obviously that pours into my crafting and the things I like to craft with and the vintage and the antiques. So it's always a fine line. So I'm just burnishing it down. I'm giving it a big burnish, nice burnish here. Make sure we're thoroughly stuck. I'm going to check, and keep double checking. Okay, I think we're good. So what I found was an easy way, if you have one of these craft mats, which most of us do, I find it's pretty handy to find a line, find a midline, and just line my fabric strip or my piece of ribbon, whatever I'm using for my spine, kind of find that visual line. And I'm just going to do a dry fit first. Kind of see where I'm at. It's pretty good. And I am leaving about a 1/2 inch space here in the middle. So I'm looking pretty good. And I'm just looking where my tape is. I'm looking at any overlap here. And then what I'm going to do, so I put the bottom fabric ribbon down. And I'm going to take off that top layer. There's probably so many ways of doing this. I just find this is fairly simple. Kind of makes sense to my brain. Okay, so I'm going to peel off those two sides. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to line up. I'm going to try really hard not to move those postcards. I've already kind of messed it up, and I just dropped my ribbon down and aligned it with that bottom ribbon. Okay, so now my top is adhered to the back of that tape, if that makes sense. Okay, then we're going to flip that over. I'm fairly even, not too bad. I'm going to burnish that down a little bit. It just kind of gives me that alignment. And then we can come back in here. Anything that sort of overlaps that tape, we can glue that down. But we are pretty stuck. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is pull off the other side. Hopefully you guys can see this. Hi, LeAnne. Hello, hello, drive safe. Just listen, don't look. Okay, so I'm going to pull off the tape, and then I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac, and I'm going to be super generous here in the middle. I'm just going to glue, glue, glue. You could do it the opposite. You could put your glue down and then pull off the sides. I'm just trying to avoid getting the pieces of paper in the glue. I'm saturating that quite a bit. And then I will use that other piece of ribbon as my guide. This part's a little bit easier because it's not moving as much. And we're going to stick that down. Pretty good. I'm trying to do it a little bit quicker with you guys, but you can take your time. So we're really going to burnish down on top of that sticky tape, and then make sure we're really adhered in the middle. That looks pretty darn good. And the Fabri-Tac, it will kind of bleed through with the moisture, but that will dry. So that's why we're doing the spine first while we go and move to our signature. So we are looking really good. I'm a little bit off. I'm not super perfect, but I will come back in here and trim this. And we will also be putting, I decided it would look really gorgeous with a piece of lace over the top of that. So that will hide kind of anything that's misaligned. So super easy. Again, piece of fabric, a ribbon, whatever you happen to have. I think this ribbon was a nice discovery in my stash. Okay, so we're going to set this aside to dry. Let's get rid of our trash. Okay, and let's get out our papers. So for this one, what was my count? I used 16 folded pieces of paper, which included a paper doily. I have a paper doily somewhere in here. So the 16 count included the paper doily and also this lead page of tracing paper. You could use vellum, you could use tracing paper. Typically in my journals, I love putting a little library card here in the front cover, but because I was using the postcard, I didn't want to cover this up. I think it's so gorgeous. So I won't be doing a library card in these, but I thought the tracing paper or that kind of see-through paper, I thought that was really beautiful. And that will help protect the writing on the postcard as well. I thought that was pretty. Okay, so let's grab our papers. Some I have already cut and already folded. I find this is the fiddliest sort of part that takes the longest for me, is pulling my papers out, deciding kind of what the vibe is, what goes with the look of the journal that I'm creating. I'm also not super organized with where I keep everything, which is a work towards, as you know, within the next couple months, I'm going to do a huge overhaul of where I'm storing my craft supplies, what I have on hand, what's close by, because I have so much stuff. I'm constantly forgetting what I have, just like the postcards. I sort of rediscovered those the other day. So this part takes the longest for me, choosing my papers, finding my papers, and then the cutting down process. Just throwing that out. And if anybody has any suggestions on how they do it more efficiently, let me know, because that is something I'm not super efficient at. So what I tend to do, I know some people will measure and then write down their measurements, and then cut off of that. I don't know. I'm not very number minded, so that method doesn't work really great for me. But what I tend to do, now we've already kind of taped these together, but what I tend to do is take my first piece of paper. In this instance, we will say it was this piece of ledger paper, and then I will measure against my front or back cover to get my measurement. And then I try to use this one sort of as a guide going forward. Let me double check this one. This one may be a little bit better. Yeah. So I just use that. Let's use this one as the guide. And I try to go a little bit inside the width and height of my cover. So because as you add the papers to your signature, the last ones on the inside, they tend to poke outside, if that makes sense. So the first ones tend to be, you know, further in your left, and then they start to poke out as you get closer to the center. So let's use this one. And again, I'm just leaving a little bit of a border. I'm not going exactly to the height or the width, because if I really go to the width, at some point those inner papers will start poking out, which I don't mind. I don't think that's a bad look in any way. So this one's a little bit too high. We're going to use this as our guide. You can use a paper trimmer, you can use scissors. I alternate back and forth, whatever is easiest. Sometimes I use a ruler to tear it down. Again, I wish this part of it was quicker. I would love some suggestions. Okay, so we have 2 so far. This one is a perfect height. I measured it earlier, so the height is really good. It's a little bit long, and what I'm going to do, just so we have a little bit more writing space, we can have a little flip out. I'm just going to fold that. I'll just fold that one in. So we can come back, we can use washi tape, we can glue it, we can make a little pocket, we can leave it as a flip out. I think that'll be something that's fun. Here's our tracing paper. Let me double check that. I think that one is a little bit off. Also, depending on what types of paper, I find if paper is very old, some types of antique paper are pretty fragile. So those I will tear down with a ruler, or I will use my scissors. Okay, this one I'm just going to fold. It's fun to alternate different heights. This one is very thin, sort of like the doily. We'll kind of float that down the middle. Here's our doily. I'm going to go ahead and fold that. So that's done. A little pile here. Yep, that one's better. Let's see what we have. This is one of those kind of to-do list things from my last haul. And again, I'm going to do the same thing with that. I view this as a nice writing spot with the lines. Well, the lines are going this way, but that's kind of how I view this one. But lots of nice blank paper on the inside. Fold that one that way. I think that one is good. Yep, that one measures well. And then here's some of the antique papers that I pulled out. So some of these I went ahead and I already cut. Let's just double check those. Yep, those are good. And I love this too sometimes when I'm using antique or really vintage book pages, especially for a journal like this that has that very antique-y, romantic, kind of old look. I love to leave this kind of ripped looking edge. I think that's really interesting. And in fact, this one has that. So we're going to fold this one and hopefully it is the right height. And then maybe we just need to cut a little bit off the end. So we'll just fold that. I think, yep, we are super lucky with that. So I'm going to take my piece of paper, my pencil, and then just give myself a little bit of a cut line. And we'll make a little pile. So there's one. I think this one is already good. Let me look here. Oh yeah, that one's super good. Yeah, that one's super good. Okay. All right, let's grab our Edith Holden. So gorgeous. I think I'll fold it. Let me do a little double check. Yeah, I'll fold it this way. And it looks like we just need to cut a smidge of that off. Give that a little bit of a pencil mark. And I'm trying to decide. I think I'll cut off of this side actually, because this is quite close here, the writing on the right side. Just so we can maintain that. Maybe I'll cut the other side in looking at the paper. So let's do our other mark here. And then let's cut that off there. Okay. And then this is gorgeous. I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and try to cut off some of this border and see if we can save as much of the text as possible. So let me grab my paper trimmer here. Clear the decks a little bit, and then let's see if we can save as much of that as possible, because it's so beautiful. I love that scallop detailing. Might need to cut. Yeah, we're probably going to have to cut some. but I think we're going to be good top to bottom. So let's try to save that. And more feedback on this paper trimmer. So I received this, I shared last week, I received it as a Christmas gift from Jim and the kids. And what I found, I had used it just a little bit last week. And what I'm loving about it versus my guillotine paper cutter is that it has a little metal piece of filament, like a little metal wire here. This is the first rotary trimmer that I've had like this, and it has been awesome to trim down all these papers. I've been loving it. And that was a happy discovery because it makes it so easy to line up. It's precise, and especially with papers, like sometimes I'll rip something out of a book, or I don't know, trim it down with a ruler or something, it'll be a little bit off center. So this is nice to have that little filament in there, and I've actually been able to come back in and make things square again, if that makes sense. This is so pretty. Maybe we'll do a little flip in with this too. I didn't do it on the other one. I think I actually cut it, but it is so gorgeous. So let's do that on this one too. And then we can make some little kind of built-in pocket. This is so beautiful. This is from, do I have the book? This paper, let me pull it out. I love this. Let me grab it from under my desk here. Where is it? Oh, maybe I don't have it. Maybe I put it back in my cabinet. Oh, that's a bummer. Where did I put it? It's from a Sears catalog, but I think a reproduction one. Just really beautiful paper. Again, something I've been hoarding. I decided to dig into it. And for me, I find it easier to, so this page will be in my signature this way as we're flipping through the book. And I find it's easier to turn it around when I'm doing these flip outs or pockets and fold it that way and then come back and fold it this way. That seems to work pretty good. Okay, so is this? Yeah, that's good. And what do we have left? I think we just have this one left, which we will need to cut. And I think with this one, I'm actually going to fold it, and it's almost perfect. I'm going to fold it lengthwise this way so that we get the benefit of the lines for journaling. So I'm going to fold it this way. All right, and there's our mark. And now let's take our little pile and we will cut these. I think I'm way behind. Everybody's saying hello, giving everybody love. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Kathy's in Arizona. Hi, Kathy. I don't think I said hello. And anybody else I missed? I hope I didn't miss anybody else. Hello. That's right. Kathy is in beautiful Arizona. And there's that one. Let's see this one. Cut it this way. Put that over there. And this one, how did I measure that one? Yeah, and then this one is measured this way. And also what I love about this paper trimmer, the more I work with it and learn about its different aspects, is you can cut this way and you can cut that way. And I'm thinking as I become more proficient with it, like if I'm cutting the masterboard, if I was cutting out a piece, I'm thinking, right, I could go just to a point, turn it around and go the other point. I'm not that good with it yet, but that is my thought. Okay, so I think we have all of our papers cut. Let's get rid of our stuff. Ooh, that's a nice amount of visit, 5 days. That's lovely. Okay, so I know I want to use the piece of tracing paper as our lead paper, so I'm going to grab that. And then I want something really beautiful on the inside, kind of what you see. I think I did this one and the other one. Let me look at my cover, see if I like that. Well, maybe I'm going to do the February. I think I'm going to do the Edith Holden. I think that's pretty, especially with the rose on the front. I was sort of going with the romantic kind of Valentine vibe with these journals. And I think I will grab a piece of ledger paper. And that's kind of what I do. I just kind of alternate between something that's decorative and something that's ledger. Let's see, let's take this beautiful floral and that's pretty. So I'm going to take the floral and then I'm just grabbing a piece of that antique book page because the floral is so narrow. It's nice to see the little peak of that. Let's grab this one. Stick that in there. Let's see what I have here. Maybe we'll go with that one. That's a little bit more narrow. Oh, let's grab this one. I like that's blue on the blue. What do I want in the middle? Oh, I forgot I had that one. Let's see, this. This one that has a little flip. Oh, and I also had this book page out. Let's see. Although it's newer. Let's see, make sure that's not too thick. And I want to share that book with you. I love that book. Oh, we also have another piece of paper here. I don't know if I'm going to leave this one in. Oh, that one's flipped out. Let me switch a little bit. Oh, I guess that's okay. Okay, so we're going to do that one. See, now I'm getting a little bit fiddly. Okay, I'm going to switch that one. I was having like too many flip outs. And then we'll put this in there, and then we'll put this one in the middle. Okay, and then we have these two. We have a doily and then this little tally thing that I want to put somewhere. You will put the doily here. I think works well. And then where do we want the tally? Let's kind of pull there. Okay, there we go. I think we're pretty good. And you can kind of see here what I was talking about. So as you put your pages in your signature, these inside ones that are closest to the fold, see how they start sticking out a little bit. So I'm going to test it against my journal, and we're more than good. So you can see nothing is really sticking out past the end. We are super good, and we can come in any pages that are short. We can add some trim or some laces. We could add other pieces of paper, washi tape, you name it, and build those out. But I kind of like it when they're a little different looking. I think that just adds more interest. So I think we're good. The next thing I want to do is just do a quick look to see any of these antique or old book pages that may be a little bit fragile. Let's see, this one's actually okay. And I want to add a little bit of washi tape. Like definitely, I think this one right here. I think over time it's a little bit fragile, so I want to add a little bit of washi tape. You could add fabric, you could add another strip of paper. I just think the washi tape kind of adds a pretty look to it. And I pulled out a couple washies that I thought would look pretty. Maybe we'll use this thick one here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is grab some of this art glitter glue because the washi tape never sticks for me. In fact, I noticed with some of these tapes the last couple days, they're not terribly old, but they don't come off the roll very well. This one seems to be okay. You could use glue stick. I just wanted something that would dry fairly quickly, but glue stick works great too. You can take the lid off the glue stick and then just run the washi tape over the top. I'm just going to cut that. Make sure I'm just catching up on the chat. Thank you, LeAnne. Perhaps I have a buying problem. Perhaps I have a spending problem. I don't know. I do get lucky though. I feel like things that are meant to find me somehow, right? I think that probably works out for all of us. If we're meant to have it, if it's meant to be, it just kind of finds us. Okay. Ooh, this is pretty. Isn't that beautiful? I don't think I've ever used that one before. That's beautiful. Let's see. How do I want to do this part? Because I like that. I kind of have to cut off a little bit of that torn edge there, but that'll be okay. And how did I have that folded? I think we had it folded that way. Okay, that one looks good. I don't know. I don't know, LeAnne. I don't know. I wrestle with myself with that. But I guess it's good to have a nice variety, right? It's nice to have a nice variety of things. I should get to the point of listing things in my Etsy shop, but I haven't gotten to that point where I'm consistent with it. Let's see which one. Let's use this green one. It's so beautiful. There we go. As part of my reorganization, though, I do want to find a better system with my books. I have so many books now. I have built up such a great library of books and books to craft with. And I know there's like many schools of thought. So far, I've just been leaving my books intact and then, you know, pulling from them as I'm looking for things to fussy cut or, you know, book pages like this book right here, this kind of vintagey antique dictionary. But I know lots of people, especially if it's like a children's book or a book that has illustrations, you know, they'll take it apart and cut the illustrations out and then keep them in folders. So I don't know. Which I think for me would probably be a good method because I don't have a lot of room. I don't have a designated craft room. I'm crafting in my dining room, so my storage is very limited. I don't know. What do you guys all do? Let's see. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, when are you coming? Oh, Kathy's gonna be. I mean, LeAnne's gonna be in Arizona too. Nice. Ooh, what's Annette saying? I bought 2 1-gallon freezer type bags full of recipes and who knows what, but I need old paper. It is going to be so fun to go through. Ooh, super fun. Super fun. The other thing that I have, and I'm scared to open the drawers and go through it. I want to say a couple of years ago, an estate sale Jim and I went to, I bought one of those like library card drawers. So it's just 2. So it has 2 drawers. So it's just single high and 2 drawers right next to each other. It's wood. It kind of looks like maybe, I don't like the color of it. It's kind of orangey. That's on my to-do list, is to strip it and see if I can't stain it a different color, or maybe I'll just leave it the natural wood. But it's kind of that color of wood that most of us had in our school libraries probably growing up. So it's a little orangey. It's a little golden. Maybe it's pine. I don't know, but it's really cool. But the whole thing is full of recipes. So I think some of them, I mean, it's so many. I've been scared to open it and really look and take them out. I think some of them may be handwritten and maybe more of them are like cut out from magazines and, you know, that kind of thing, but they're all on like colored index cards. So that will be fun to go through. Yes, Annette. Oh, you should do a video or at least post a picture. Definitely post a picture in our group. And I hope you post picture on Instagram. Is that your craft space, Annette? Half of your spare bedroom? Nice. I don't yet have a spare bedroom. Kids aren't quite out of the house yet, but I know I will one day. And that's what it'll be. It'll probably be the same thing, half of a spare bedroom. Okay, I think these all look good. Maybe this one. No, it's pretty good. I think because it's a reproduction, the book page is pretty good. Oh, and I wanted to show you that. Let me show you this book really quick. Make sure. I think we're good. Whoops. And I will be using a string to tie it closed. But I think we're not, maybe a little bit thick, but I like all the pages we have in here. So this, I wanted to show you the book that this came from. So this is like, I don't know, it says Pride and Prejudice. Where did the book go? This is such a cool book. I'm not sure if I ever shared it in a haul. I don't think so. I think it was probably, I bought it when I had stepped away from YouTube for a while, taking care of my mother-in-law. But it's called The Little Big Book of Love. And it's by, I don't know if it's Morrow or Tabori. Let me see. See, and you can see I've been taking it apart and starting to use. And of course, now I've gotten rid of the lead page. Let's see what it said. Oh, it doesn't say on the back either. So it's either, if you're looking on eBay, it's either Tabori or Morrow. I'm not sure, but The Little Big Book of Love, and it is so cute. So it's all these, it's like poetry and short stories, and it's so great for Valentine crafting or just sort of, you know, that romantic antique look. Let me see if I can find some of the pages to show you guys. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay. So edited. Hopefully you guys can see that. Edited by Lena Tabori and Natasha Tabori Freed. Designed by Timothy Shaner. William Morrow. Okay, so William Morrow and Company. That must be the publisher. I don't see a copyright on it, but look how adorable the images are in here. That one's not as exciting. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And the size of these would be so sweet. I probably should have included one in here, but they would be really great for this size of postcard journal that we're doing. Again, I was hoarding, I think, the really cute images. But how cute is that? Look at that size. So this is a really cool book. I haven't looked on eBay, but I would say go check it out, or Thrift Books or any of those, or if you're out in the thrift stores. I found this at a thrift store and I kind of paid up for it, but it was so darn cute. Aren't these illustrations cute? So this is definitely a book to be, look how cute that would be. I would use this for Easter crafting. Aren't they cute? Yeah, so some of these don't have to be Valentine-y, but I wanted to share that with you. But this one page came out of here. I didn't choose a really cute one. I probably should have chose something cuter. Okay, so now what I want to do is just make sure everything is sort of aligned well. Everything is somewhat centered. This part is a little bit fiddly as well. And I'm not trying, you know, it doesn't need to be perfect. It's a junk journal. We're not really looking for perfection, but I do want to get things somewhat aligned. Actually, we're not looking too bad. Oh, got all wackadoodle here. We're pretty good. I was watching somebody putting a journal together the other day, and I want to try that with a journal. So she just aligned everything at the bottom. So she just tapped everything down and aligned it at the bottom, which had a super cool look to it. Okay, so I think we're pretty good. We're not too bad. All right, so I'm really going to snug everything up here. And I'm going to take some little clippies just while we're working on the other part, just so things don't move. They kind of stay. And then what I'm going to do is make a little template. You know what? The other video I should have put in, I'll do that later too. So LeAnne and I did a really great series on little golden book journals. Where's my note? I should have put that one in too. So I'll put the link in below, I think. Yeah, you did that, right, LeAnne? Link to little golden book, doing this part where we sewed the signatures in, because LeAnne explained that super well. Link to little golden book sewing signatures. So I'll put that later when I get off. I'll put that down below because she did such a good job. Bye, Annette. Have a beautiful day. Yes, definitely share pics. I love to see. I love paper. I love ephemera. Okay, so let me take a fresh piece of paper here. Do I have one? Yeah, I'm going to take a fresh piece of paper. So this is just a little paper scrap here. And I am just going to measure and get the, actually I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to measure and get the height of my covers. And I'm just going to use my ruler. Grip that down. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it in half, or fold it lengthwise to get my middle. And then I'm going to fold it in half, top to bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to take that midpoint here, and that's going to give me the center of my journal. So I'm going to put a little circle there. And then I'm going to look back at the doily and that tally card. Just kind of give myself a visual. I'd like to, I mean, certainly they'll be sewn in at the very middle, but Yeah, so I think the tally card will just get. Now, I know sometimes people will you can just fold this way and this way to get your outside holes, but I think I'm going to go a little bit further to the top. I don't know why. I don't know why I do that. I just kind of like it that way. And let me see if I just measure it this way. Okay, so there's my 3 holes. So I have my center hole, and then I have my top and my bottom. I'm going to call this my top, right top there. And you could just punch a hole with, something sharp, your ice pick, whatever. I'm just going to do a quickie hole punch because I happen to have one of these hole punches that are smaller. And it's super quick and easy. So that's what I'm going to do. But you can also, I like to poke my holes with the ice pick and keep this little cork on the end just so it's kind of safe. Okay, and I'm going to clip that in. Make sure everything is nice and tight. Do another little check. And I'm going to poke that first hole with my ice pick. So you can kind of see it coming out there at the end. You could use your needle. That would work really well too. Okay, poke there, poke here. And I like to come back to the back side and kind of poke through this way. Just so my hole's a little bit more open. Sort of helps, I think, with the sewing process. If that one isn't very, kind of poke back through that way. There we go. All right, okay, good. Okay, so we have that. Now let's take our little template. Let's clip those back. Okay, now I'm gonna throw that other one away so it doesn't confuse me. Okay. All right, I just gave that a little fold just so I get a good visual here on what is the center. And I'm just going to give that just a little, kind of a little visual mark there. Double check myself. Let's kind of fold it. Looks like everything is meeting really well. Now, I have a really good hold on this. You could come in and clip this as well, but I'm just going to go for it and stick my holes in. I think we're pretty good. Okay. And same thing, I'm going to come back in the back and just kind of poke through from the back too. We look pretty good. We look pretty aligned. Okay. Clear the decks. Let's get up our washi tape. Okay, and here's my needles. These just came from my mom's sewing little cabinet thing, and I don't know if these are the best kind of needles, but I've just been using them. And they're darning, says 7 yarn darners, but I like them because they have a big eye on them and they seem to work well. I think I'll grab this one out. So see, the eye is pretty big. And today I am going to use some of this embroidery thread. I actually grabbed it out of Taylor's room the other day because I didn't like what I had kind of in my stash, but I've used that baker's twine before. I have just anything that seems rather sturdy and not overly thick. That's usually what I look for. In my last few journals, I used this like red that I had, but I didn't think it would work very well for this. So I grabbed this out of her stash. And I'm just measuring off 3 times the height of my journal. I'll give myself a little bit more even. And like I know LeAnne, what do you use for your twine? And she runs it through a piece of wax, which I think is super cool. Sorry, I sort of heard what you said about the signatures. I'm not sure what I said. Oh, okay. So I used ribbon for my spine. I've used fabric before, I've used ribbon, but I happen to have this. It's like a really sturdy cotton ribbon that I found in my stash, and I'm pretty sure it came around sheets or something like that. You know how sometimes when we buy sheets, it has that ribbon that's tied around it. I'm pretty sure that's where it came from, and I had just stuck it in my stash. So it's a really kind of thick twine cotton, really dense ribbon, and that's what I had. So that's what I use. But this is the first time I've used ribbon. Usually I use fabric, and I sometimes will also put Tyvek in the middle, so that makes it sturdy as well. But because this was so sturdy, I just went with 2 pieces of this ribbon. Let's see. LeAnne said, I used embroidery floss because I have tons. I use all the strands together. Then yes, I coat it in beeswax for strength and moisture protection. I love that. I need to get some beeswax wax. Right? It's so good. It's so good. And look at it. It's such good quality. Like I can't throw it away. And this is marvelous. It's perfect for this use. It's so nice and sturdy. Okay, so we have our holes. Whoops, here's my, hopefully I can get it through. This is where the wax would come in great handy too, just to get it through this. Sorry, I'm gonna do the little licky thing there. Hey, Caroline. Hello, hello. Oh, that's a good idea. An old beeswax candle. Awesome idea. How are you? Never late. Oh, see, I can't get it in there. I'm going to try to fold it and see if that helps. There we go. How are you? What have you been up to? Okay, so we have our needle that's threaded here. And I'm going to take my signature. So we're just doing a really simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So we're going to go through the middle hole. So I just poke it through the signature. They make sure I'm going the right direction because I've done that before. I've sewn things in upside down. We're going the right direction. Okay, so I'm going to go through that center hole in the journal as well. Or the cover, I should say. I'm gonna pull that out. Want to make sure I leave enough of a tail. I don't want to pull it all the way through, so I just have a little smidge in here. And then I'm going to go through the top. You could go either direction. You could go top, you could go bottom, but you're going to go through one of the two. My needle is very thick. That's why it kind of helps to punch through. Okay, I'm going to punch through our top. And we're going to pass the middle. We're going to go down to the bottom, punch through our signature. Punch through our hole at the bottom of our cover. I'm just going to pull that tail out a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to come back through the back side here. We're going to come back through the center. Easy peasy, as I say, easy peasy. There we go. These needles are very thick, so I have to do a little bit of tugging. There we go. Okay. All right. So there we go. Let me show you what the back side. So this is what the back side looks like. Okay. We have our middle hole. So it looks nice and clean. Everything is closing well. I'm going to take off the clips. I'm going to make sure everything is nice and taut, nice and tight. And I want to end up with an end or a string on each side of this middle line. So I have my middle line string here. I want to make sure I have an end on the right and an end on the left. And then we're just going to knot it. I'm going to do a double knot. So 1 knot and 2 knots. Okay. And if you think you're going to be taking pages in and out or possibly switching things around, you could also just tie in a bow, right? With the thought that you can untie it, you can remove pages. If you want to add more pages in the center, you can just do a bow, but I won't be removing mine. So I just knotted it. And then a lot of people will come in and leave the length of this string long, and then you could come in like I did here. So I left it a little bit long and I added some little dangles on the end. It's hard to see that. So I added, let me turn that around. So hopefully you can see, I added some little vintage buttons and some beads and some little pieces of kind of ripped little fabric bows there. So it's just kind of a cute little dangle at the end. And I'm not sure what I will do with this one. I think I'm just going to cut them a little bit shorter. I think I know what I want to do with this, the front of this, from the looks of the front of it, but I'm just going to leave them a little bit long. And on this one, I decided that I want to cover it with some lace. So a lot of the journals, let me show you this one, right? I love the look of that twine or thread, whatever you're using to be exposed. Like, I think that's so cute. I love the look of that. And that's where I use that red one. So I like the look of it. But for this one, I wanted to come in and sort of make it look like a hidden spine. So we're going to cover that with a piece of lace. I just thought that would be really pretty. And I could have put the lace on and then sewed through it. But in this case, I don't know. I just wanted to cover it up. Just switch it up a little bit. One of the journal styles that I have not done and I want to do this year is to do a completely hidden spine where you sew your signatures onto like a piece of fabric and you have a bit of like cardboard and then you glue it down to the inside of your journal. That's kind of on my to-do list for this year. Okay, and I'm just going to use Fabri-Tac. Yeah, it's so pretty. It was a little bit plain though, the postcard, because it just had the rose on it. So I came in and did a little bit of collaging. I put that stamp on the front and a couple of those little Tim Holtz, the little mini labels. And I think I want to make a dangle for the front of it. And I'll show you once I get this glued on. This lace is very open weave. It's kind of hard to get it all tacked down, but it's fiddly. It's probably pretty good. That's why I went searching for the embroidery thread in Taylor's room rather than that red I keep grabbing, because I didn't want it to show behind the lace. I think we're pretty good. Yeah, and I'll show you what I did with the cover so you can kind of see more of a close-up. So I just added a stamp. That's an actual stamp. And then here's one of the little Tim Holtz labels. I thought that one was so cool. I don't know what it says, but it's super cool. I think it's initials in like 07. And then I actually ripped the corner. I didn't intentionally mean to rip the corner, but then I kind of liked it once I did. I took the edge of my scissors, you know, and I was doing that little thing where you go in and kind of distress the edges. And then I thought this one looked cool. It kind of looked, again, I don't know what it says, but it looks like a little label that you would put in like a nature guide or something, maybe with the name of the rose or the name of the flower. Kind of reminded me of that. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Let me see. I'm going to try to come in here. Do I want to wait? Do I want to do it now? I think I'm going to come in. Is this pretty glued? I don't know if I want to do it yet. I think this end I could. I'm pretty tight over here on this end. I don't want to muck up my scissors, but I'm going to come in and just cut that down. Make it a little bit cleaner. And I might come in here after and put a little bit of that fray check is probably what I'll do after the fact. But for now, I'm just kind of cutting. I should wait for it to dry. I don't want it to muck up my scissors, but we're probably okay. All right, and then I just cut that just to give it a clean edge. And where is that stuff? Just so I can show you guys. This fray check right here. I'll come hit it with a little bit of that later. And I think we are done. So we have our little bit dangling here, which we can come in and do a little bit of bead dangle. But I think what I want to do, and I'm going to have to work it out a little bit. It's kind of in my head as an idea, but I think it would be so cool. Let's see if I can find it. So one of the little labels that was in that Tim Holtz, a little tiny ephemera bag, was this cute little one with the number 12 on it. So I think what I want to do is do some kind of little dangle here. I have glue all over in the upper right hand corner, I think. But I want some kind of metal component. I don't want it to be super, super heavy. I do have some of the little Tim Holtz little metal circle things, but the other cool thing I have, and I haven't used it on a journal project yet, I used this on my Halloween bottles, those little Dollar Tree Halloween bottle project, is this master foil, this copper foil tape. So I don't know. I want to do like a little layered dangle. Let me grab these, which I think would be super, super, super cute. So I want this to be a component, and I'm envisioning maybe something metal behind it. So I need to see what I can do with the tape. And I think I might have a whole sheet of this as well. So I used to use this when I made my soldered jewelry back in the day, you know, with glass and what kind of I started doing when I originally started selling on Etsy. So that's what this is left over from, but I think I might have a whole sheet of it too. I don't know. I want to play around with it and do something fun. But this is kind of what I've been having a lot of fun with lately. I love these little dangles to take, you know, vintage buttons and some fabric. In fact, this was one of those Tim Holtz, the little die cuts too, that came from that bag. And they're fun. I like to make them a little bit thicker. So I don't know, maybe I'll make that a little standalone video. Maybe that's something we'll do here next month or the next couple weeks. So basically I just go in and I layer more cardstock on the back of it. I just use Mod Podge, or I'll use art glitter glue, and I just keep going until it gets to the thickness I like. And then on the back, I usually try to do some kind of decorative paper. Let's see what I did for this one. Oh, this one I didn't. So this I did the same thing. It was one of those little, same thing, Tim Holtz die cuts. This one I just have craft paper on the back of it. I didn't do like a book page. And so I just keep going to where it gets to be the thickness that I like, and then just do this little dangle. So I have a little vintage button behind it and a piece of fabric. So I'm thinking, wouldn't that look cute? So I just have to figure out how to best attach it. Maybe I'll put a I always say the wrong thing. You know, I want to say rivet, a little grommet like I did on this one. So I just have to figure out how it'll attach well. But wouldn't that be cute? So that's my idea. I just didn't have time. If I'd had more time yesterday, I probably would have done it. So it was already on the cover, but that's kind of my thought. Hi, Jody. Hello. How are you? Isn't that, yes, Joni Rose. Isn't it pretty? Yeah, super, super cool. Yes, isn't this copper cool? Oh, I'm really excited. In fact, probably, I'm thinking probably this afternoon, I'll probably start trying to work on it a little, but this is such, oh, I have so much glue on my fingers, sorry. But it's really great. It's actual copper. It's super thin. It's made for people that do, stained glass and that type of thing. So it's actual copper. And the one thing, I thought it would take like the oxide, the ink pads really well. It aged it up a little, but it wasn't kind of as cool as I wanted it to look. It kind of dulled it. So I think I want to play around with a few things to see how to age it up in a cool way. I do have a bunch of, but they're chemicals, and I don't really like to work with a lot of chemicals these days. But I do have, actually, I'm not even sure if they're still good. They're probably still good, but I do have the liquid chemicals that make things black, or will make things, give it that cool green, patina that copper gets over time. That's so yummy, and I love it. That's like my favorite thing. So I don't know. I'm going to play around with it a little bit and share with all of you, because I think it'll be really fun. And I hope I have a whole paper piece of, big sheet of this, which I think would be super cool. So I'm excited when I rediscovered it. You know what? I think, vinegar. I think vinegar, maybe I'm going to play around with it. So back when my other long running business was metalsmithing and doing hand stamping and all that kind of thing. I kind of went from this to the business kind of morphed over the years, or morphed over time. But when I first started using coins and things in my pieces, I would clean them with ketchup and salt, and ketchup has that vinegar component. So I think vinegar may have the effect of cleaning and making shiny versus doing a patina. But we'll have to play around with it, because I'm not sure if I quite remember, but I know I used to use, to clean, before I got a polishing machine and all that kind of stuff, I would use ketchup and salt to scrub things, which is kind of funny, and then have to wash it and like do this whole thing. So, but that'll be fun to experiment with and play with. And maybe like the Tim Holtz spray inks, which I have some of, they may have a cool effect on it. So we'll have to play around with that. But I'm excited. I am excited about that. So that is it. That is our sweet little journal. I'll definitely be coming in and decorating the pages up. Let me know if that's something that you guys would want to see in some future vintage craft and chats together. Both the journals, or maybe one, may end up in my Etsy shop once I get them decorated. And I also plan on, I would like to incorporate some of the pages from this book, and then also pieces of our masterboard. So I want to cut strips and things from the masterboard to make little pockets, to make maybe some belly bands on some of the pages. So the masterboards will come back and play some more. So that's it. And let's grab this. I thought this ribbon, this kind of chartreuse green, would be really beautiful. So let's tie that on, and we are done. So fiddly, my fingers today. There we go. So cute. I probably cut that a little bit too short, but pull that up so we can see that little. So how cute is that? I love that green. So I think, don't you think that's going to be perfect to have a little dangle right here in this upper corner? I think that's really going to complete it. And I think I might do the dangle versus doing the little beady thing. So super cute. So I think that is it. Stay tuned to the community tab here on YouTube as well as Instagram. I'm not sure yet what next week will be. I really wanted to do a collaboration, another collaboration with my daughter Taylor, and she is starting back to university next week. So we've let this whole time go by. She had some downtime in between graduating from community college and then moving on to four-year university. And literally she's been home for many, 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 many months. And we've talked about collaborating and doing something additional. And she's starting back to school next Wednesday. So we kind of lost our opportunity. So we're still talking about it. We may, maybe we'll move our Thursday to Friday because she does have Fridays off. So we'll just kind of see. But I also think she may be a little bit tired from the commuting and it being her first week starting. So we'll kind of see. So next week will either be a collaboration with Taylor, maybe probably moving to another day, or we will do the Valentine kind of decor craft that I have brewing in my head. So we will see. Right, LeAnne? I know. Like she's probably been off for how long? I don't even know how long she's been off for. It's like been a super long time and we just been procrastinating, and we got so excited about something that we wanted to do. And I don't know, holidays happen, all kinds of stuff happen. So we'll see, but we do still want to make it happen. And I don't want to wait all the way till summer, right? When the kids are off from summer. So anyway, I think that's it. Let me turn the camera around. I think I covered anything. Is there anything that I didn't touch on or that we needed to talk about? Let me look at my notes. Let me swing this around. Yes, I will let her know. It's so exciting. She'll be attending. Hey, sweetheart. Are you going to go get your hair cut? Yeah. Okay. Are you going to buzz it? No. Oh, okay, nice. Have fun. It's Ryan. He's go get his hair cut. He's off too. He doesn't go back. He doesn't go back till February. He has such a long break. yeah, he doesn't go back till next month, and he's going to the same community college that Taylor attended. So I've just had, yeah, a house full of kids for the last many, many months. Me too. I mean, we talk art, we talk crafts, we talk about all that stuff all the time, but it's not the same as, you know, actually being able to do something together. So I'm excited to do something with her. So yes, I will let her know your good wishes. And yeah, she's attending Cal State Fullerton. She did the tour last week, and she said the campus was amazing, and they have a gorgeous art department and a gallery. They have a botanical garden. They have a bowling alley. As I told Joni, it is not the college of my youth. I'm from Cal State system too. I went to Cal State Dominguez, and yeah, we didn't have bowling alley and many pools and a rock climbing wall and 3 Starbucks. We didn't have any of that. So, so it's going to be fun. And I said, oh, can family members use the facilities? So it'll be good. Can you even imagine a bowling alley? I don't know. Super crazy. I guess she said the botanical garden is, how big is the botanical garden?
It's like a 26-acre.
26-acre botanical garden. So I'm really, it's what?
It's public as well. It's
yeah, a public 26-acre botanical garden. So I'm really excited. What? Now, did they have an ice arena when you went, or they have an ice arena now? That's so. Oh, okay. Yeah, it wasn't there in your day. Isn't that crazy? We actually went back. One of the universities that Taylor had applied to was my old university, and we went to go drop something off. And granted, I haven't been. It's been 25 probably plus years since I've been on the campus. And some of it looked the same, but oh my gosh, in some aspects, it was very different. It was gorgeous. It was beautiful. There were like new buildings. I mean, I thought, wow, I wish it had looked like that. When I went, it was a little old, not run down, but definitely, you know, built in the 50s, as a lot of our schools and universities were here, you know, have been built here in California. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, can we walk around? And I was trying to get my bearing, you know, I was trying to figure out where some of the different departments, and there were buildings I remember that have now been ripped down and weren't there anymore. So it was very interesting. So anyway, I know you all want to take on your day, so I appreciate everybody that was here. If you are watching on the replay and you have any questions at all, please leave a comment below. I will be quick to respond. And I think that's it. Yeah, stay posted to the community tab and Instagram for what we will be doing together next week. And I think that's it. I hope you all have an amazing week. I love you all. Take care, and I will see you soon.